Hello, lovely, and welcome to the Essence of Expression podcast. Get ready to explore insights, lessons, practices, and wisdom from life for life. I'm your host, Arejay, healer, teacher, student, and sage. I'm excited and honored to have you with me on this journey. Let's dive in. Lately, I've been seeing a lot of people becoming more interested in natural remedies and in holistic wellness, and I think that's wonderful. And I'm also seeing some pitfalls that people aren't aware of when they're new. So I want to kind of go over some of those to help you more easily transition into learning about like the natural wellness and the holistic wellness. So one of the first things is like holistic wellness looks at everything as like a system. It looks at the entire system. So it's not just like, oh, you have a cough and it's not, and the cough is the problem, right? It's not a one-to-one. So sometimes people come in and they're like, what herb can I take for this problem? And that's not how holistic medicine or wellness looks at the situation, right? It's not a one-to-one. And we look at like what's going on with the entirety of the person, because the symptoms that present, which when you come from Western medicine, like Western medicine is pretty much symptom suppression. So like, hey, I have a cough, and Western medicine is like, let's get rid of the cough, right? Let's stop you from coughing, not necessarily what's causing the cough. And then let's get rid of that. And where did this thing even come from, right? Which is more of the holistic perspective. So it's not about a one-to-one, and it's not about things being in isolation. It's about things working in a synergistic manner. So sometimes there may be traditional uses for a particular herb, and it may satisfy like the problem or the issue that you're looking at that's presenting. But there may also be other herbs that you may want to also have because they better support the absorption of the main herb that you want, right? You also want to look at like, what's the lifestyle like? Because it's not just one thing that's causing this, right? Like it's not just like, oh, okay, it popped up one day and now we just need something to make it go away. There's something in the way you are eating or sleeping or thinking or being, or the relationship that you have with spirit, or any number of things that are all working together and impacting, and they've all aligned in a way that this thing has been able to come into your physical form, right? So looking at things in a synergistic manner, looking at things as an ecosystem and not just looking at one thing. Also, let's go back to symptom suppression, not just trying to stop the symptom, right? Because often it's so much easier for you to go into like natural and especially holistic wellness thinking that I want you to think symptoms are the messengers, and they're also your body's attempt to take care of the issue on its own, right? Like it's kind of the autopilot. So you don't necessarily want to stop the symptoms. Like, yes, some of the symptoms can be annoying, some can be painful, and a lot of other things. But it's your body going, hey, something's not right. There's an issue here, right? So you want to be able to look at it. And then again, it's also the body trying to take care of it. So you don't necessarily want to stop it. So, you'll see this a lot with like fevers and coughs and things like that. And yes, a fever at a certain level can be dangerous. But at a certain level, it's your body doing what it's supposed to do because it's trying to kill off the invader, right? It's trying to stop the problem. So if we're just like, hey, we just dropped that fever down, it doesn't kill off everything that it's trying to kill off to protect itself. So sometimes you want to let the fever run its course. You may want to support the warmth that your body is trying to produce and have localized. So it's not the symptoms, don't think of the symptoms as your enemy, right? They are the red flag in the alert system, and they are also usually part of your body's normal process to put a stop to whatever the issue that's actually going on is. And the final thing that I want to talk about that I see people coming into the natural wellness space is this misconception that because it's natural, it's just like safe across the board, right? That's not true. There are some things that actually aren't safe at all. Nature makes poisons, just so you know. Right? But learning to really take the time to get to know the herbs, especially if you're going to be working with them long term, right? Like, I'm not saying it should stop you from getting started working with herbs and delving into like the natural wellness and stuff. Like, yes, work with a knowledgeable practitioner, learn about it, and I really want you to, like, as you get to know the herbs, right, like especially when you're first starting out, learn to look at the contraindications of stuff, right? Because there are certain herbs that shouldn't be used. Like, if you have certain conditions going on, it's not going to go very well. It's not a very good blend. And normally you can find another herb that'll work better with whatever existing conditions you may have or other herbs you may be taking, right? Not everything plays well together. So it's really important to start looking at what all is going on, what all am I bringing into this, so that we can know, like, oh, okay, like, yeah, I can use this herb. Or maybe you have high blood pressure, so the herb that's normally recommended for the underlying condition that you have is not good. It's not the recommended one because you have high blood pressure, and it's going to elevate that even further, right? And also, please don't try to kitchen sink a herbal solution, because you can overdo it, right? Like, you can over compound an effect. So let's say people are like, ooh, like, I want to lower blood sugar, right? And so they're just like, let's just kitchen sink like all the herbs that we know help lower blood sugar. That creates a very dangerous situation, because now you're dropping your blood sugar too low, right? So we're always working for balance in holistic and natural medicine, and it's very important to understand how to balance what is there, right? So just because it's natural doesn't automatically mean it's safe, doesn't mean it's safe across the board. There are even sometimes the same herb, like different parts of the same herb will have different effects. And so it may, like, you can't just swap out parts of the herb and expect them to do the same thing, because it doesn't necessarily work that way. A lot of herbs are wonderful allies for a lot of different things, and the different parts are going to be more potent for certain situations. So that's something else to consider. And even some of the ways that you prepare the same herb and same herb part will affect like how it's absorbed, what it does, and everything. So there's a little bit more, actually there's a lot more than just like what herb is good for like headaches, right? There's more going on. Like, there are different types of headaches. There are different reasons that you're getting headaches. So what is going on there? Like, what's causing the headache to begin with, right? So it's a lot to think about and consider, and just something to be aware of, especially the more you move into this journey, to not bring these misconceptions, the allopathic mentality into it, right? Everything is the ecosystem. Everything acts and responds to each other and with each other. So it's about learning what are the correct interactions that we're creating, what are the potential risks, right? What is the potential best use, and what is the potential best way of interacting with the herb for whatever you're using it for. But we always want to be looking, like, it's great to look at the herbs, for kind of you're like, hey, I immediately need relief from this, and that's kind of what we're trained to do. But beyond the immediate relief, you still want to be diving into a lot of the lifestyle things, because it's the habitual stuff that we do that's creating these conditions in the first place, right? Now, yes, there are things like, it's where it's like a virus or things like that, where it comes up and it's not a habitual thing. But a lot of the health issues that we struggle with are more from habitual things we do, things we eat, things we aren't doing, a lack of care for our body. But it's more on the habitual side. They're usually not these one-off things. So I just wanted to share that, and hopefully that helps you if you are someone who is coming into the more holistic wellness, who's stepping into, using the natural remedies and things like that. Come in, be curious, understand that it's about synergy and balance, and respect the plants, right? There is a intelligence and there is a power that we should both be grateful for and respect and appreciate, right? And another thing is like how we cultivate these herbs, how we harvest them, how we just interact and work with them, right? Like, I really would encourage you to not think of it as using an herb. I would really encourage you to think of it as working with, because these are beings that do have their own life force, that have their own intelligence. It's not the same as a synthetic pill in a lab, right? It's really not. So making sure that we're coming in a way that is respectful and grateful, and also in a way that is sustainable, right? I don't know if you've ever come across braiding sweetgrass. One of the beautiful things, and a lot of the ethical herbalists, especially the ones that wildcraft, and if you're not familiar with the term wildcrafting, it's for those people who actually go out into nature as it is and will harvest plants from there, and normally will also start crafting the tinctures or whatever it is that they're making, whatever medicine they're making with it out in the field itself. It's not a grown and cultivated place. It's just out in nature as it is. But the ethical ones will do it in a way where they're not taking all of a plant in an area, right? Because we want to make sure that the plant can come back. We want to make sure the plant survives. They're not taking the first of a plant, because if you take the first plant that you see, you don't actually know that there are more. You haven't gone to see that there are more to ensure that you're not, in fact, taking the only or the last plant, right? And never more than half, right? Because we want things to be able to, again, be sustained, to continue. We want to be able to continue to have this plant in our lives and for it to continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for your time and attention. If you enjoyed this episode, follow the show. If someone came to mind while you were listening to this episode, please take a moment to share it with them. If you're interested in joining a community and diving further into these topics, please visit theessenceofexpression.com/community and request to join our community group. Thank you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night or day, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.